Hello, everybody. How is everyone today or tonight or this morning, wherever you are in the world? My name is, of course, Dr. Matt Dorsey, also known as the CHOQTOR. Holler at me in the chat if you are watching / listening, unless, of course, you're driving or operating some other sort of vehicle, of course. What's up, Chalk Gamer? How you doing? How's everybody? How's everybody else? Yeah. What is up, guys? Hello, Andy. Okay, you're in Tampa. Cool. How are things in Florida? I hear it's a fairly nice place to be for various reasons. What's up, Abigail? How you doing? Howdy. It's cold, huh? What's the temperature in Florida, Andy? Tell us. I'm curious. How cold is it? I'm gonna look at let's look at weather.com. Starting off really interesting, right? Talking about the weather. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. Let's see. What do we got in Florida? Tampa? Let's see. I wonder, is it, because it's actually not cold here in Texas, but I don't know. Is it as oh wow, 36, huh? Crazy. All right. Yeah, low of 43. Yeah, is the weather as completely random in Tampa as it is in Austin, I wonder? Or Florida versus Texas, that is. 30 degrees in Philly suburbs. Wow, crazy. Did you guys hear about what happened to us a little under a year ago here in Austin, or, well, Texas in general, with a snowpocalypse? I'm sure you did hear about it. That was pretty nutty, I have to tell you. I was huddling in my car for long periods of time, just idling to have some sort of heat. I was out of power for a total of, I think, like 8 or 9 days. It was pretty nuts. Carlos is in New York City, 34 degrees. All right, word. So I don't know if you guys know this guy named Tyler Fisher. Does that ring a bell? Has anybody seen this guy, Tyler Fisher? This guy's awesome. I highly recommend him. I just wanted to share. This is just an over 1 minute long video. This guy does a great impression of Fauci, and I thought maybe I'd play it for you just for fun here. Check this out. This is pretty good.
I'd say even if you live alone, I would wear a mask in the house, especially in the shower, because frankly, droplets can make their way through the drain and come up through somebody else's toilet, infecting them with COVID through the anus. Ballpark, in 2 to 5 to 20 years, we can start thinking about considering the idea of pondering the thought of conceptualizing the possibility of maybe, perhaps reopening, but probably not. I would avoid having any fun whatsoever in the near to far future. Thanks for watching that. Make sure.
This guy's great. Good old Tyler Fisher. Definitely check him out on YouTube. It's Tyler, spelled normally, Fischer, Tyler Fisher. I'll just spell him out right here. This guy is super awesome. I did actually see him live whenever he came to Austin. And yeah, super funny. He does a great Fauci impersonation. He does a lot of impressions, actually, though. He does Robin Williams. He impersonates pretty much all of the different presidents of the United States that have, since way back in the day. Who else do you impersonate? Bill Burr. He's great. Anyway, wanted to share him with you guys. If you're not familiar already with Tyler Fisher, he's awesome. And check out his Instagram. He does, as you imagine, there are certain topics, right, that are a bit controversial, and Mr. Fisher does not shy away from those topics. So definitely, he gets the CHOQTOR seal of approval. Absolutely do recommend his stuff. So, all right, what do you guys got for me? What are you curious about? What's your question? What do you want to know about today? By the way, while you are loading up the chat with questions, just wanted to say really fast that one thing to know is I have postponed Stay Human for a couple of reasons. So it's not going to be this Friday. It's going to be the Friday after Stay Human 2. So main thing is that actually I did need a little bit more time to prepare. Got a lot going on right now, so it's going to give me an extra week. So, so again, it will be the 28th, Friday of next week for Stay Human episode 2. And the other thing is that I'm getting a very fancy new, almost $1,000 camera soon. It's a Canon DSLR. And so I'm going to be using that, and it should be coming in any day now. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I can figure out how to use this thing in time, hopefully, to shoot Stay Human episode 2 on the new camera to increase the quality of the footage there. So that's the other reason behind it. So anyway, yes, thank you for being patient and for being cool with me postponing this a little bit. The quality of the content will be higher in multiple different ways, the footage itself as well as the content itself. So yeah, that is the deal with that. Anyway, let's see, what do we got? So somebody is asking about NAC. No, it is not impossible to find NAC supplements. Again, it's kind of against my policy to recommend specific supplements companies, so I don't do that. I'll recommend other kinds of companies for other categories of products, but I won't recommend supplements companies since I work for a supplements company. But what I will say is regarding NAC, what you can do is, try to look for brands that are reputable. Try to look for brands that are some of the larger ones that are carried in some of the fancier natural grocery stores. So if you go to like Natural Grocers or Whole Foods or Sprouts, most of the brands they have there are pretty decent. I'm not saying they're all perfect and there isn't still different levels of quality, but if a place like Whole Foods or Natural Grocers or Sprouts carries it, it's pretty good. The same is not true of like drugstores. So if you go to like Walgreens or CVS, it's a bit of a landmine there, minefield rather. So you gotta be really, really careful with the like mainstream drugstores because some of their stuff is awful, absolutely awful. But yeah, so that's kind of my advice to you on how to find NAC. Also though, NAC, just so you guys know, there aren't multiple different molecular versions of NAC. NAC is NAC. So as long as it's actually NAC, you are good. Still, obviously, you want to buy from a reputable brand, though. Okay. Andy says, got my Armor and Irish Moss today. Woot. Very cool. Glad you're digging it. So I know I've already said this a couple times before, but just so you guys know, we are about to release 3 new stacks. Probably the plan right now is to release these new chalk stacks at the same time as the new Apex. We're waiting. It should be any day now. We're supposed to get the new Apex in. So we're working on getting the new pages together for the website. We're working on getting the product images and the copy and all that stuff situated. So we should be launching. We're going to be launching all of that at the same time. So we'll be relaunching Apex Glutathione, Apex 2.0, and 3 new bundles. So we're bringing back the Mega Bundle, which is going to be basically all chalk supplements except for daily. So we don't put daily in there; it's just for men. We want the Mega Bundle to be for both men and women. But everything else, every single other chalk supplement. So it's going to be massive, really massive. We're also going to be releasing 2 different immune stacks. They're going to be called Immunichi, like Immuna-Chi, like that. And Immunichi regular is going to be just 7 Wonders, Armor, and Apex Glutathione. And then Immunichi Ultra is going to be 2x of Armor, Apex, and 7 Wonders. So regular Immunichi is Armor, Apex, 7 Wonders. Immunichi Ultra is going to be 2 bottles of Armor, 2 bottles of Apex, and 2 bottles of 7 Wonders. So what that enables you to do basically is to take a double dose of each one of those. So it'd be basically 4 caps a day of Armor, 4 caps a day of Apex, and 2 caps a day of 7 Wonders, which is really, really quite potent. So if you know anybody who needs a little boost in terms of healthy immune function, healthy inflammation response, healthy detoxification, and then also, of course, the Apex is great for healthy mood and focus. If you need somebody who needs a boost in those areas, the Immunichi and especially the Immunichi Ultra are going to be pretty phenomenal. So just something to know about. Of course, the price breaks will be on the Immunology Ultra will be larger because it's a more expensive product, so you'll get a bigger percent discount versus buying everything separately. So that is the deal with that. But I'm super stoked about Apex 2.0, guys. It's been a very long time coming, so it's nice to finally have it back on the shelf. What's up, Danny? How are you doing? Abigail says, do you like living in Austin? Yeah, I love living in Austin. I actually thought about, I've been here for 13 years now, and I thought about moving a few years back and just realized that there isn't anywhere else I'd like to be. I actually really love Austin still. I super dig it. So yeah, Austin is fantastic. Yeah, that independent power grid, Andy, pretty crazy stuff. I am going to be way more prepared if snowpocalypse happens again. I have a whole bunch of gear now. I've got 2 big propane tanks, as well as a propane heater. I've got a solar generator. So if it does happen again, hopefully not, but if it does happen again, I will be much, much better prepared this time. Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got here. Shield and action armor must-haves. Yes, absolutely, Abigail. Andy says, luckily I still have some chalk NAC. Yeah, and NAC is great. There are plenty of other places you can still get it. I really wish we could still sell NAC. I do. And you never know. They do say that I have heard that there are some companies who are doing their best to fight this, some supplements companies. So maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe the FDA will reverse it. Who knows? But it seems unlikely. Danny says, hey, Dr. Matt, what kind of pot pan is safe for cooking besides cast iron? Here's a thing that I'm actually trying to learn more about myself. So I'll be frank. I don't have all the information on this. I had a friend over a few months ago, and she saw my ceramic pots and pans that are supposed to be, ceramic is supposed to be the best. She claims that most ceramic pots and pans, there's some sort of weird coating on them still that's also synthetic. And that she had bought these like really expensive pans to get a set as like $3,000, something crazy like that. She had to get it on, a payment plan, and they're like the ultimate. I don't remember exactly what they're made out of. So apparently I need to learn more about this, but I'm not quite prepared to spend $3,000 on a set of pots and pans right now. So yeah. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. Shared your state humans. Several commented on use of human versus mankind sovereign citizen question. JJ, nice. JJ, did you mean you had a question about sovereign citizens or? But yeah, thanks for sharing, JJ. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. What do you think when an ingredient label contains organic cold pressed canola oil? Abigail, I would avoid canola oil. Canola oil is not great, even if it's organic. Canola oil does certainly seem to be pro-inflammatory, so I would avoid it. And a lot of the time, it's really just a marker for quality. It just means that those, it's a lot cheaper. They're just using a cheaper oil to save money, basically. Grass-fed colostrum. I'm not really into any kind of products that come from dairy at all. Dairy, to me, is pretty much a pro-pathogenic food. So I don't really recommend colostrum. I know that there are people who swear by it. I have so many tools in my toolbox, Danny, for supporting immune function that I don't need colostrum. And the fact that it comes from milk is a huge, huge red flag to me. It could be great though, maybe, but I certainly would not mess with colostrum at all. Let's see. Just today, I took 4 daily 6 action. Nice, Hugo. Sounds like you're digging it. That's quite a regimen there. Evan, how's it going, Doc? What's up, Evan? How are you doing? Howdy. I made chocolate cacao beans in a French press with oat milk. I think I ground it too fine because it didn't press. Was good though. Yeah, Abigail. Actually, I have noticed. I haven't done it that many times, but the few times that I have done the French press cacao process, I have noticed absolutely that it is pretty hard to press. So you have to press just really steadily, and it'll go like really slow. If you press too hard, some of it will actually squeeze through. The actual grounds will squeeze through. So yes, it's doable, but you have to kind of press really slow and steady, and then pull up a little bit and then do it again. Yeah, that is what I have noticed as well. So that tends to happen with the cacao beans more so than coffee for sure. I'm looking at last minute flights for my birthday. Austin is maybe on my list. So Abigail, you're coming to Austin for your birthday. Cool. Nice. Austin is lots of fun. How did you feel at Hugo? Oh, okay. That's a question for somebody else. Let's see. Things will be changing. We're back to our supplements soon. Hugo says, I feel on fire, really good. I take it easy now for anxious people. Chuck is safe. Yes. Awesome. Yeah. And I got to say, guys, with this Mega Stack coming back out, if you know somebody, obviously the Mega Stack is not cheap. It's like 8 different products, right? But what I will say is, like if you know somebody who doesn't take a lot of supplements and they want just a huge boost, and you want to give them something that's going to be pretty life-changing, the Mega Stack makes a fantastic gift. And we're actually working, it might not be done for a little while, but we're working on a special box just for the Mega Stack. It's going to be printed and look really cool. We're not going to have that out, until a little bit later, but the Mega Stack is ridiculously awesome, and really excited to get folks on the Mega Stack there. Apex 2.0 is going to like really boost up any stack that you combine it with. It's going to be especially good for, like I said, for brain support. So any stack that you're currently taking, if you add Apex, not only is it helping with detoxification and immune support, but it is helping quite a bit with the old memory there. Yeah. All right. What else we got? All right. I replaced my morning coffee with brewed cacao beans. I feel so much better and happier. I add some monk fruit and cacao butter to make hot chocolate. Nice. That's cool. So that's interesting. I've never heard of that. To me, it makes total sense. So Danny, it sounds like you are brewing cacao and then you're adding cacao butter to the brewed cacao. That's awesome. Nice. That sounds really delicious. All right. So Hugo, it sounds like you might be asking about if we're going to make a product for sleep, and certainly I'm sure at some point that will happen. We've got other stuff going on right now. As far as current chalk products go, the chalk ashwagandha can be really helpful. I like to take one before bed. Again, you can take ashwagandha in the middle of the day and it won't make you tired, because what ashwagandha does, it helps to just basically bring balance to your nervous system. So if it's time for you to rest, ashwagandha will help you rest better. If it's not time for you to rest in the middle of the day, it's not going to knock you out. It's not like taking valerian. But yes, out of the supplements that we currently sell, I'd say ashwagandha would be one of the better ones for sleep. Yeah. Sunflower lecithin. Yeah, sunflower lecithin is great, Abigail. Nothing wrong with it at all. It is one of the fatty components of sunflower seeds. And specifically, it contains something called phosphatidylcholine in it. Phosphatidylcholine is something that your body uses as a precursor, as a form of choline. So it uses it as a precursor to the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. And acetylcholine is, as some of y'all might know, maybe from talking to me or from your own studies, acetylcholine is what we need for memory. So lecithin has always been known as a brain supplement, right? Now, we actually have a couple of chalk products that do contain sunflower lecithin, not the soy. We don't use soy. We always avoid the soy lecithin, but sunflower lecithin, because you can actually use it to get higher bioavailability. So one of the companies who makes some of the ingredients that we use, they have a really cool patented process where they take the herbal extract and they combine it with lecithin in order to make it more bioavailable. So our Quercifit, our special 20x absorption quercetin, uses that. And speaking of Apex 2.0, the new Apex has a 3x absorption ginkgo biloba extract, so that taking 200 milligrams of this stuff is like taking 600. And it does the same thing. It is paired, that extract is paired with sunflower lecithin in order to get that higher absorption into the body. So yes. Let's see. Hot chocolate. Nice. Seraphim, it sounds cool. Hot chocolate. Hot chocolate with a CHOQ. So yeah, maybe some hot. Let's see. Hot chocolate. There we go. Hot chocolate. Yeah. We should definitely, Chalk should definitely come up with the ultimate hot chocolate. recipe there. By the way, as far as new products go, we are also coming out with a 4-ounce bag of cacao beans. So if you guys want to, if you haven't tried our cacao beans yet, because the 1-pound bag is pretty huge, it takes a little while for a lot of people to go through 16 ounces of cacao beans. But we do have the good old-fashioned 4-ounce ones coming up soon. And we're even going to have little free sample packs that we're going to be throwing in with some orders. So there will be some times when, you might open your chalk and you might just get a free little sample size bag of cacao beans. So not only do we have some free sample size ones that'll just be like a handful, and then also a 4-ounce that'll be a cheaper way to try it, but they're also going to be in compostable bags. And we are actually just now finalizing the design for the compostable bags. Chalk is taking some of our stuff to the next level as far as packaging goes. We're talking also about using some compostable mailers potentially as well. But yeah, so for the cacao beans, the plan is to switch over to all compostable packaging. So that's exciting too. Yeah. Somebody says you want a chalk hoodie. Yeah, absolutely. We definitely should have a chalk hoodie. I would like to make sure that the design on the next one is super cool. So definitely want to spend some time on the design. I also want to design a special CHOQTOR edition T-shirt that just says "Stay Human" on it. I think that would be really awesome. I'd love to have like a "Stay Human" just like kind of right here, with the chalk logo somewhere. I think that'd be really cool. So yeah, lots of fun things in the works for 2022 though, guys. We're really kind of like rocking and rolling, hitting stride now as far as lots of cool stuff happening. So we've also got, I can't tell you who it is yet because he hasn't signed the contract, but we've got a really awesome comedian who does a lot of online stuff, whose presence is growing, who's going to be working with us as one of our affiliates. And he has a pretty massive reach and a pretty good following. So be on the lookout for some awesome new affiliates, new chalk affiliates as well. So we're working on cool new affiliates. Lots of awesome stuff in the works for 2022, everybody. What else we got here? All right, let's see. I had Ceylon cinnamon and ginger powder in my cacao, and it's fire. Nice, Evan. That's awesome. Ceylon cinnamon is dope. Big fan of ginger, of course. I'm kind of a ginger fanatic, actually. Ginger is fantastic. I actually don't have any ginger right now. I need to re-up on my ginger. But yeah, ginger is great, and ginger and Ceylon cinnamon I would see going really well with cacao. Yeah. Also, you know what I'd like to try? I haven't tried yet. I'd like to do a mixture of mate and ground cacao. I bet that's probably pretty amazing. That's definitely on my list of something to try because I've been thinking about it recently. I'm betting it's phenomenal. So yeah. All right. Let's see what else we got. All right. Yeah. Has anybody else replaced their coffee with cacao beans? I'm just curious. Danny says he's really into it. So I'm curious if anybody else is just like switching it out straight up, doing instead of doing cacao, instead of doing coffee, just doing cacao, and what kind of results are you getting? So very curious. Passion flower chamomile is great for sleep, says Evan. Yes, they can be very helpful. Absolutely. Let's see what else we got here. All right. Somebody's asking about detoxification. JJ, I can't refer to detoxification of any particular compounds of that nature, but I could say in general to support healthy detoxification, Apex glutathione, which is coming back out within the next week or so, is our number one. And that if you want to really support detox to the next level, you could get our Immunichi or our Immunichi Ultra stacks, which are Armor, 7 Wonders, and Apex all put together. But yeah, out of all the products, of course, our number one detox product is Apex glutathione. And very excited that's coming back out. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Is there a risk of FDA ban the best chalk products? Hugo, no, not at all. Actually, fortunately, there's no risk at all. Really, we have no indications that the FDA plans on banning any random supplements. What the FDA did with NAC was extremely rare. I've been in the industry for a while, about 13 years as well, around the time I came to Austin. And nothing like this has ever happened. So this is like very unprecedented for a product this well established to all of a sudden just be banned. It just doesn't really happen. So no, we're totally safe as far as I know. I mean, you never know for sure, but highly unlikely that's going to happen. But yeah, chalk hoodie would be really cool. I definitely think that that's going to have to happen at some point. I mix the big bag cow beans in my trail mix and make with lots of cashews and dates for the tryptophan. It's my mood mix. Cool. Sounds good, Seraphim. Nice. It sounds tasty. It's awesome. I like to, like this morning, what I did is I just put just the real old fashioned way. I just put some cow beans in my mouth, squeezed a little bit of honey in there and just chewed that and ate it. That's what I tend to do when I'm kind of just, want a quick boost and I'm in a hurry. I'll give you guys also, I've probably told you this plenty of times before, but one of my best smoothie recipes is banana, cacao, dates, hemp seed, honey, and water. Banana, cacao, date, honey, hemp seed, and water. That is awesome. And of course, use the smallest amount of water you can, and that's going to make it thicker. Obviously, more cacao beans and more hemp seeds and less water will all make it that nice, thicker, fattier kind of texture, if that's what you're into, obviously. That's what we're going for, of course, and your diet and all sorts of things. But yeah. All right. Chucking and rolling. Yes, Evan. I had a feeling a lot of good developments were happening because I just saw some crazy deals, got some crazy deals. Yeah, Seraphim, absolutely. Yeah, we do love crazy deals at Chalk. That's kind of our thing, Seraphim, you drink a couple quarts of mate every day. Nice. Wow. You really like the mate. I have found that mate, like coffee completely trashes my body. I feel horrible if I drink coffee. And increasingly, I can't drink tea either. Green tea, black tea, they make me feel really bad as well. Mate, I can pretty much do whatever with mate and I'm fine. Mate is just really agreeable for me. So for whatever reason, I'm pretty good on mate and it's hard to overdo it. Danny says, can you talk a little bit about mass formation psychosis? Yes. Well, this is a term that I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard, mass formation psychosis. Matthias something, Desmond, Matthias. What's this guy named? His name is, he is a psychologist, Matthias Desmet. Yeah. So I'll just, I'll go ahead and just copy and paste a link that I found in Google here if you guys want to check it out. I'm guessing that a lot of you guys being in the realm that you're in have probably heard of this guy and heard of mass formation, but Dr. Desmet, he's European. I forget which country in Europe he's from, but he is a professor of psychology and he talks about something called mass formation, also called mass formation psychosis. And Danny, cool question. Yes, essentially, what's going on with mass formation? Well, again, this applies to a particular topic that I'm not allowed to talk about very, very much, the one that starts with this letter here. But, of course, it could apply to anything. And my understanding of mass formation is this, that when you have a group of people who who needs to be manipulated, and you are some sort of powers that be who desire to have a lot of control over people, then a situation that is helpful for that is supportive of that mass manipulation, has a few different things in common, a few different things that are supportive of that. One of them is isolation. Another one is called free-floating anxiety. Free-floating anxiety, Dr. Matthias says, is like whenever you have a lot of people who are anxious, but they don't really have a cause of their anxiety. They don't really know why they're anxious, and they're looking to assign a cause to it, right? And so part of mass formation is that whatever individuals or organizations are promoting this, what they're doing is they're pointing the finger and they're saying, here's the source of your anxiety. Here's your problem. It's the people who haven't done the one thing, for example, right? Like they have decided not to do this. They're not doing this thing. And so they can act as an easy target. And it's a way of scapegoating, through this pariah class, right, of these dirty, unwashed, diseased people, right, who are, and it's all their fault. So it's a scapegoating process, the process of sort of projecting. And again, some of this I could be semi-inaccurate on. It could be that I'm elaborating a little bit too much and getting off topic of specifically what mass formation is, but that's a lot of my understanding of it. I've watched a couple different podcasts with Dr. Desmet, and I think it's really on point. So definitely check out mass formation. I'll type it in here for anybody else who wants to look into it. Mass formation. It's either called mass formation or mass formation psychosis, but it is a form of collective insanity. It is a kind of brainwashing, mind control, whatever term you want to use. And speaking of brainwashing, mind control, and all that super fun stuff, we're going to talk about a lot of that in Stay Human episode 2. And again, just for anybody who wasn't here for my earlier announcement, Stay Human episode 2 is now going to be Friday of next week, not this Friday, so that I have time to get more content together. But also my brand new camera is coming, and I think it'd be really cool to actually shoot this on my new, very expensive, very fancy camera that Chalk is buying for me. It's a Canon DSLR. Right now I'm taking this on my phone, and of course I have a decent iPhone, which has, pretty good camera on it. But I think having this awesome Canon DSLR is really going to take things to the next level. But anyway, we are going to talk a lot about that. We're going to talk about meta. And I don't know if you guys remember, but Stay Human episode 1 came out literally like a week before Meta was announced. So we didn't get to talk about the metaverse, virtual reality, Facebook becoming Meta, all that stuff, because that hadn't happened yet. So for Stay Human episode 2, we're going to be able to go really, really deep into Meta. I also would like to say, guys, just so you know, if you guys haven't got a chance to read my my last blog article on CHOQ.com, on the CHOQ blog, check this one out. Metaverse, the Ultimate Blue Pill. Short, nice, fun little read. I'm going to have a sequel to it where I talk more about that, and all this stuff dovetails with all the stuff that's going to be in Stay Human episode 2. By the way, Stay Human episode 2, one of the reasons that I am calling it Between Two Worlds is that, here's the idea, is that some of us are going forward evolutionarily in the sense that we are waking up and becoming more of who we really are and seeing through more of the BS. And then some of us are kind of doing the opposite, right? And many people are transitioning. They're just transitioning to different kinds of new worlds, right? And what I think is important to know is that it's almost like a golden calf type situation, like a false god kind of situation, and essentially it's like it's almost like this fake digital reality is like a substitute for deep spiritual experience. That seems to be, and like a substitute for all the things that make us human, and also the things that make us more than human, So there's this idea of liminal and liminoid, and I don't want to get too much into it right now. I'm going to save it for the episode. But liminal space is this sort of transitional space that is where you're transitioning into the sacred place, right? And it has to do with sort of going into the mystery. It's a big part of maturing, going into what they call liminal reality, liminal space. There's also something called liminoid. Liminoid is, instead of being a real shamanic, deep space that you get into, it's a true transitional space into a higher version of yourself, more evolved version. Is liminoid is sort of a fake, it's a placebo version of that. And you guys might remember from some of my previous rants about all this stuff, talking about essentially that what tends to happen is you tend to see a lot of fake red pills. There's fake red pills everywhere, right? Where you think that you're waking up out of the matrix, but you're not. That's the theme for you guys to be looking out for. And that's one of the themes of my next blog, which if I can finish it this week, I will, but hopefully I'll finish it. I might just see if I would love to be able to finish it by Friday for my next blog to come out. So definitely check your emails. I'm going to do an email promotion for Stay Human as well, of course. But for sure, guys, just know that if you think you've been red pilled, there are times when someone's trying to dupe you and they're trying to make you think you're actually waking up, but perhaps you're not. Fake red pills, placebo red pills. It's like you open the red pill up and you look at it, it's just sugar water in there. There's nothing else, just saline, right? So yeah, that tends to happen. That's definitely a thing. Yeah. So I don't know. There's even nailing down what to talk about is interesting process. For Stay Human episode 1, it was very when I get into these creative modes and I start brainstorming, it's very very stream of consciousness, very just random association and scribbling, and that tends to work for me. So we'll see what happens when I get in the zone and really put all the stuff together. I am stoked for it. Abigail, yes, I did see the new Matrix. I have to say, mixed feelings. It was bad and good at the same time. There were certain aspects of the new Matrix that I actually thought were really cool. For example, I liked how self-referential and how meta it was. Of course, meta in a very different way than meta Facebook. How they're kind of like actually referring to the Matrix in the Matrix, right? And there were some great monologues in the new Matrix movie. I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but I'll just say definitely watch it. But the production value was horrifically bad compared to the previous ones. It was not nearly as well done. There were certain elements that were just there were a couple scenes that were just so badly shot, it almost looked like it was a television show on some random low budget sci-fi channel, which is really weird for an epic first run movie like The Matrix. So there were some parts that I thought were just kind of garbage, to be frank, but there was enough in there that was on point, and there were some cool things that they say in there that are kind of a wink to people who are paying attention to what's going on right now, where I think that there's enough good in there that it's worth watching. But yes, some of it was absolutely terrible, to be frank. So it is really a mixed bag, but it was not all bad and still worth watching. There's some interesting stuff in there. And particularly for anybody who hasn't seen it yet, or for those of you who have, when you go through next time to watch it, or when you watch it for the first time, the character played by Neil Patrick Harris, who's basically like, he plays his like psychologist, which is funny, his analyst, basically, his psychotherapist. That character delivers some very interesting monologues. And I think that some of the best lines in the whole movie, some of the best lessons that have to do with things like mind control, mass formation psychosis, manipulation, things like that. Some of the best lines in that whole movie are actually delivered by Neil Patrick Harris in some of his monologues. So every time that character, the psychologist character, psychotherapist, whatever you want to call him, every time the psychotherapist character talks, pay a lot of attention to what he's saying. There's a lot of great nuggets in there. Really interesting stuff. And the people who wrote the movie, I think that they know what's up. I think that they are paying attention to what's happening right now. They really are. There is an interesting Easter egg in there also, where I won't spoil anything, but I'll just say that one of the characters has been put into a sort of a jail cell, right? And that this is actually outside of the Matrix in the real world. One of the characters, I won't say who because I won't spoil anything. One of the characters is being put into a jail cell, and the outside of the door to the jail cell, you only see for a split second, says something about being quarantined, which is interesting because it has nothing to do with the plot. So be on the lookout for that little Easter egg there. And for those of y'all who've seen it already, you might already know what I'm talking about. But very interesting. I do feel like the people who wrote this did want to say certain things and wink a little bit to certain people. So yeah. All right. So by the way, guys, for those of y'all who don't know already, we are changing our prize policy. We're only giving away prizes once a week now. And I know that we got everybody super used to just giving out prizes every single time. So if you didn't know that already and you haven't been on these other transmissions, I Sorry to have to break the news to you. So we are not doing prizes today. I know it feels weird just to leave and not give away any prizes because I'm so used to giving away prizes all the time, but we will be doing it once a week. I'm going to be randomly picking the day, which day we give away prizes. And I haven't figured out exactly what we're giving away each time. It might be a little bit more than we did last time. It's only once a week, but we will still be giving away prizes anyway. It'll be randomly at some point because we were giving out a whole lot, and I think that they weren't necessarily seeing a huge return on just, we were giving away thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff, which was awesome. I thought it was great, but it did get to be a bit much. And so we are going to be scaling that back just a bit, but still doing some prize giveaways. So it will be at random. Unfortunately, today is not one of those days, but stay tuned. The CHOQTOR is Agent Smith. Don't trust him. That's hilarious. Yes. Mr. Anderson. But anyway, I am going to get going, guys. I will see y'all soon. I'll be back tomorrow, probably around the same time-ish, something like that. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you guys. And much love. Stay human. Peace.